What's going on, y'all? My name is Fred Johnson, and I'm coming back at you today from Orlando, Florida, with another video with some teacher tips slash tech tips. Thanks for joining. Today, what I'm going to talk about is the fourth day of school, what I do with my students. So when I was a student, my teachers would often, at the beginning of the school year, give out a note card, 3x5 or 4x6, and have everybody write their name and their address and their phone number. And now in 2022, some teachers still do this. And when it comes time to call home or you need an address, if it's not right in the system, they're searching through this deck of 100-some cards looking for phone numbers and information. When I was introduced to Google Docs, back when it was all called Google Docs, in 2010, 2011, I learned about Google Forms and created one for students. And so today I want to go over the digital version of this, which makes it much easier to search and find. So in order to create a Google form for your students to create at the beginning of the year, you can either go to forms.google.com or from your Google Workspace, click on the 9-dot menu and look for Forms. From here, we're going to create a form for them to fill out in place of that note card. So we'll just start with the blank one. They've got some templates, but I'll start with the blank one by clicking blank. From here, I'm going to create this form. So I'll call it student information or whatever it is that you want to call it. And you can adjust the formatting of your title here. And then we're going to go ahead and put in some questions. So I'm going to start with, some people put name. I always separate first name and last name because it's easier if some students put it backwards. It can be easier to alphabetize, so on and so forth, without having to adjust the data. So I'm going to start with first name, and it will actually, it's pretty intelligent, so it's able to tell that that's a short answer response. But just double check. You've got a lot of options with your different styles of responses here. And then, since the next question is pretty similar, I could add a new question. But I'm simply going to duplicate this question because it's a pretty similar question. I'm going to require it. That way, if a student tries to submit without answering that, it won't let them. We'll duplicate this question and replace first with last. And then I'm going to make another duplication, and I'll put in class periods. What period do they have this course? If they're in middle school or high school, if you teach elementary, you probably don't need that. And then I'm going to put multiple choice and just list out however many periods you have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you have more than that, keep going. And if you've got an option like homeroom or something like that, you can add that, or other if you're going to give this survey out to students in a club or sport or something like that as well. And I require that one. And then I'm just going to keep going down the list. Now, what sort of questions do I want to ask? So now I'm going to start creating questions that maybe aren't duplicates. But I'll come in here and start asking, what grade are you in? And then you can leave it open for them to type it in. But if you're going to collect any data on it, some students will write out 8th or 9th grade and spell it out. Some will put the number 9. Some will put 9th. So to create consistency, you can use the options here, or you can just type in 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. If you teach middle school, obviously adjust. And I'm going to require that question. And then ask questions like, what's your address, zip code, things like that. I don't always require this one because some students don't feel comfortable giving it out. Usually it's already in the system anyways. Some students just moved and they don't know it. So if I do require it, I'll let them know, hey, if you're not sure or you don't know, you can put I don't know or leave it blank. And then I'll do another one for apartment number, zip code, phone number, parent phone number, getting all that. So I get all the basic information out. But then I start asking other questions like, just to get to know them better, like what's your favorite flavor of ice cream? What's your favorite snack? So I'm asking a lot of these types of questions so that when I read over their responses, I'm getting to know these students better. And then I'll either list out some or I'll just leave this blank, so it'll be a short answer question. And then I might say something like, what languages do you speak at home? And depending on what part of the country you're in, there might be some foreign languages that are more common. And then I'll always just list out checkboxes so they can check more than one. And I'll put English. So here, the common ones are English, Spanish, Haitian Creole, Portuguese, and Vietnamese. And if there's additional, you can list out 100 and some languages you want, but you can also add other, and they can type in their language if it's not one of those. And then other questions that I ask are something my favorite teacher does in class that I really enjoy. And then they list that out, like what is that thing they really like about class. And then I also do a question where it's something my worst teacher does in class that I do not like. So you're getting a feel for what they do and don't like to do in class. I'll ask questions about what's your favorite snack, what's your favorite drink, what's your favorite, so on and so forth. So when they're having a bad day, I can go in and look and see maybe I can get them something. Or when they have a good day or a big accomplishment, you can get them a prize based on their likes, not just what you think that they like. And to keep this from being a 60-minute video, I'll just give a couple more examples and then we'll wrap it up. But another couple of questions that I ask is I live with my, and then I list out some different options. And it's checkboxes so they can answer more than one. And I put mom, dad, brothers, sisters, and I list out a whole bunch of different relatives and options, and they can check those. And this can be really helpful information when you're going to call home or parent conference or what have you. And I just keep adding options: aunts, uncles, grandma, grandpa. And then I also like to ask them what sports or clubs they want to be involved in. Or want to be involved in at blank school. And then you list out all the clubs. And this is a great way for students who maybe are new or getting started to see. They're like, oh, I didn't know we had volleyball here. I didn't know we had a chess club. Cool, I want to check that out. And now they're coming to you. How do I get involved in that? So this is a great way to help get your students connected. Also ask them about learning styles. How do you prefer to learn? And then super important question is anything else I should know? Most students will say, no, I'm good. But every once in a while, even if only 1 in 20 or 30 students put this, you'll get some really good background information. I had a girl write 3 paragraphs about her brothers in jail and her family's, what's going on. And it was just really helpful for me to know she's going through a hard time as the school year started. So I also ask them where they want to help around class. Get some great intel in here. So you can ask as many or as few questions as you want. I ask a ton of questions. It takes students about 20 minutes to fill out. And then when they're done filling out, I have tons of information. I'm reading through it. That's my homework as I'm learning about my students. So you can decorate your Google form from here. You can go up to the top and adjust a theme with different colors or choose a background image. And then when you're done and you're ready to read the responses, you can click here or get the responses in a spreadsheet form, which is my preferred method. And then when I'm ready to send it to my students, I can click send. And you don't want to just give them this raw link up here or they'll be able to edit it. So I click, I click on the eyeball, which is kind of the preview, and this is the link that I give out to my students, whether I'm giving it out to them through a learning management system or what have you. This is the link that I give them. Don't give them the raw link. Make sure you use the eyeball. And then if you're embedding it into something, a website or something, you can use the embed code from here. But typically I just use the eyeball, and that's the link that I give out to my students. And then I have tons of information to read through. If you need to adjust any settings, you can do so, but you're not making this a quiz, so for this one, you don't really need to. Sometimes I have it collect email addresses, so I know students are responding for themselves. But good luck building your Google form. Feel free to comment if you got questions or concerns. Like, comment, or subscribe if you liked the video. Thanks for joining. Wishing you an awesome school year. Go get them.